totally new thing. There's nothing new with holiness. So it's a piece of paper. How do I know that even shtar should work? Because kesef is not only a kinyan, also has value in it. So I understand. That's why this is pruto lemekane nafsho. Chalipin is out. So it's a kinyan choshu. But shtar has no value, just a ma'aseh kinyan. How do I know even shtar works? That's the word even. The even means as far as the kiddushin is a weak kinyan. Bia is it's important kinyan. Kesef has value. That's why chalipin is out. But shtar has no value, just a pure ma'aseh kinyan. Uminayin shab b'shtar. I know that even shtar works. I understand that. But normally, kesef, why we knock out chalipin, even though chalipin is also kesef, according to Rabbeinu Tam? Because it's a bad kinyan. I can work with lesser shava pruto, and we need kinyan choshu, shiur of choshu of kesef. So I would say shtar has no value, just a ma'aseh kinyan. Can I coin it with akpo, kinyan yad, meshicha? I understand. But I want to explain what does minayin shabbos. What's the word af? The word af means even. When I say the word even means should be a svara, it's less, or it's out. And I say even shtar. I'm not asking what's the source. I'm asking how do I know that even shtar works? Means it should be less. Should be less of a svara to coin it. Right, Rabbi Yoshua? You with us? When you're looking for a Gemara, what are you looking for? There is a new Mosifta. Take from there, Kiddushi.
A certain kind of star.
Maybe, but it has to be, when I say, how do I know that even shtar means, the word even means not only X, Y, even Z, which means the word even, there should be a reason, should be not. Why it's not, must be not because there's no psukim, because you can ask, what's the source? Minolam. Has to be that something intrinsic in the king and shtar in svara is weaker than bia and kiddushi and kesef. Kesef has value. Bia, it's the thing itself, the relationship. But shtar is just a pure ma'aseh kinyan. We knocked out chuppah, we knocked out chalipin. So why minayin shab shtar? How do we know that even shtar works? That's why we say the word af. Okay. And the Gemara answers, Vedinu. It's a kal vachomer. Obvious, yes, kal vachomer.
The relation doesn't fit with the answer. Because if
let's see, my friend, let's see the kal vachomer. Then we understand the af. Let's see. Vedinu. Uma kesef shen moitzi machnis. Shtar shen moitzi lo dit shen machnis. Here the Ritva has a big shaila here. Kesef is not moitzi but machnis, means you made a decision that moitzi is more value, more stronger than machnis. He say kesef cannot take out, brings in, shtar that takes out, which is stronger somehow, and then machnis. Why to take out is stronger than bring in kinyan, which is different A and B. To do kinyan kiddushi, to do kinyan of girushim, kinyan of the choira. Okay, must be. Oh, one second. I know of that. You think I don't know? True, but we have to define it. I have to define it. So we're going now to explain. Comes the Ritva. Yes, Asher. Yes, very good, Asher. Very good, Asher. So what the Ritva answers? The Ritva answers that why Moitzi is greater than Machnis, it's not mitzad the kinyan. And more than like Rebbe Chaim right away screamed, who says Girushin is a kinyan? Maybe Girushin is in the Sina. And we learned that. We learned Masechet Gittin last year. And we learned is the Sina like Gita ve'ola b'im kechot. By a slave, by a woman. It's just a nesina. It's not, who says it's a king? It's not a king, it's a nesina. So the answer is why moitzi is stronger than laach is because it breaks the isu. Uma kesef shen moitzi cannot break the isu ashesish. Machnis brings machmir the isu, brings the isu. Star that shemoitzi breaks isu ashesish. Wow, strong as muscles. And oidin shemachnis and the kalvachoyim that he can bring in, because to oisen someone is much easier to break these. As the Ritva says, koach de teira odif. The matter needs stronger. And Rashi explains many places why koach de teira odif. Because heter needs them for sure. Lachmir can be on sofik, not vadai. But the matter need to have more koyach. When we became rabbis, so Rabbi Ovadia Yosef gave us the ordained to become a rabbi. And do you remember that? What did he say? He said, a rabbi, what? Yes, a rabbi's job is to mati, to be mati. What does that mean? Not to make the life of Jews easy. Very important, sorry. It doesn't make, heter doesn't mean because the person is suffering, so therefore what? I need to bend the Torah to help a Jew. No way! Out of the Besmedrash. He said, it's not more pshat. When I say in Erev Shabbos, Efsed Merubah, loss of money of a Jew or matir, means I have to take responsibility that the Iker pshat in the Sugya, Vada is the Rashbo, is the matir. Because to machmir, even on the Southern, on the Vada, I can machmir. To be strict, always I could. But when you're going to be strict, you're going to lose a Jew money. Hey man, wear your black belt and make a real decision what's the truth. And if you say the heter is the truth, you rely on it, that's cognitive. This is what Rabbi Wadda explains. It's not because of Efsed Merubah and Erev Shabbos, and a poor Jew, you bend the Torah. Because a Jew is poor in Erev Shabbos, so you have to take responsibility and say the Iker is the Iker, the truth and the Sugi is the heter. That's called the Torah. The matter, you need more strength. Because you need to be more vada, more certain. That's what Rashi says in Beitze, in many other places. This is what he told us then. To become rabbis, you have to know, you have to be a bigger man. Take responsibility in the sugya. And know what you're learning to mati, to help Jews. Anyhow. So that's the Gemara's Kal Vachoyma. Uma kesef shen moitzi cannot take out, means cannot break the isu. Cannot break the isu. Means it doesn't have, it's not too vadai. Yet can bring in shtar that can break the isu reshesish. So surely can max. Call the teironi. Okay. 1 second. So what the kasha was uminayin shah b'shtar. How do I know that even shtar can make kiddushin? So I'll show you. Because kiddushin is much easier to do from girushin. Girushin you need koach de teira. And if shtar can make girushin, which kesef doesn't, yet makes kiddushin kesef, so shtar that can make girushin, which you need a stronger strength, surely will produce kiddushin. So that's how I know that shtar can produce it. That's even shtar. Yes, Reb Shmuel. You heard what? Yes. Right.
Now you may think
Right.
a Kavah means that they have something in common.
Right.
Just that they have in common, this is stronger with that in common, this one's stronger than that one, and what they have in common.
Right.
What would you say?
So according to the Ritva, Kesef and Shtar, now that the Gemara now does the Kavachoymer, it's not because Shtar is more chomur than Kesef. No, we're not saying that the king and Shtar is more chomur than Kesef, because the Gemara's kash was minayin sha'af b'shtar. What does af means? Not only Kesef, which is stronger kinyan, has also value. Shtar, which is just a kinyan, no value. Minayin sha'af b'shtar. So we knew that shtar is weaker than Kesef. You hear this, Rabbi Yeruven? We knew shtar mitzad the kinyan is weaker than Kesef and Kiddushin. But we made a kal vachomer not from the power of shtar. We made a kal vachomer that we see shtar can koach de teir odif. Kesef can only machnis not megarish, doesn't have the koach de teira. Star, which has a koach de teira, surely shemachnis. Even though star is weaker than kesef mitzad, that kesef is kinyan plus value. Star is just a ma'aser kinyan. Yes, what do you want to say? No me do reis. Kicha. הרמב"ם אומר שכל דבר מדברי סופרים זה דרבנן. זה כדאורייתא, כוונה נביאים, prophecy. Yes, זה הגאונים והרבויסים של רש"י. Yes. The קל וחומר is
pick up 10 pounds.
yes,
So surely a big guy can pick up 10 pounds.
right.
So they haven't come.
But you talked about big guy and small guy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if a little guy, if a big guy can take, if a little guy can no. If a big guy, this is the kavachoy. If a big guy cannot pick up 10 kilos, he only can pick up 5. If a small guy can pick up 10 kilos, surely he can pick up 5 kilos. That's the kavachoy. We know that kesef is a big guy and Shtar a small guy. But if the big guy, kesef, cannot pick up 10, doesn't have the koach de teira, he only can pick up 5. So the small guy that can pick up 10, because he has koach de teira, surely he can pick up 5. Easy. That's it. But we're not talking about the persona, the thing itself, intrinsic, kesef is stronger. We know kesef is stronger than Shtar. How do we know? From the words. Uminayin sha'af b'shtar. I don't know that even shtar. Kesef we know. Shtar bia we know. I don't know that even shtar. There's no shabbos in it. It's just a plain ma'aser kinyan. Says you're right. Shtar is weaker, but I will show you that kesef cannot pick up 10 kilo. Kesef doesn't have koach de teira, only koach de chumra. Shtar that can do koach de teira, adif, surely can do the chumra. That's the kal vachoy. This is the Ritva. The Ritva he explains. Yes. כן. יכול להיות, אבל הגמרא תאמר את זה אחר כך בסוף. לא אמרה את זה עכשיו. טוב, זה הגמרא בסוף אומר. דין is קל וחומר.
They put the people to understand it because now you the Kavachomer. It only tells you what is more than other one. If it was Kavachomer,
I think many times the Gemara used the word din was a kal. That's what it means. So 1 second.
Still, money stronger than Shtar.
Yes, like Rabbi Pia said, big guy, small guy, like that, the Agdor. Big guy and small guy. Big guy, yes. Kesef is a big guy. Shtar is a smaller guy. But if Kesef cannot pick up 10 kilos, only 5, if a small guy can pick up 10 kilos, surely he can pick up 5. The Gemara says no. Male Kesef shekem poidim bo'egdo shemaiser sheni. Toimar Shtar she'en poidim bo'egdo sheni. Comes the Rit when he explains. Kesef doesn't have koach de teira in hegdo shemaiser sheni. But Shtar has koach de teira. Sorry. Kesef, although doesn't have the koach de teira by Yisur Shesish, by Kedusha Shesish, but it has a koyach of pidon hegdo shemaiser sheni. And Shtar, although it has the koyach, the matir Shesish, but doesn't have the koyach to break the Kedusha of hegdo shemaiser sheni. And Svara. So what do you want to say? That the big guy cannot pick up 10, pick up 5. Small guy can pick up 10, only 5. I'll show you that the small guy, the big guy, can pick 20 kilos or 10 kilos of breaking the kedusha of hegdo shemaiser sheni. So he has koach de teira there, and Shtar doesn't have the koach de teira by the hegdo shemaiser sheni. So which means it's no kavachoyim because some places cannot pick up 10 kilos, and some places it does pick up 10 kilos. The other guy, as it removes a kavachoyim. Kavachoyim, he say is chomur and kal. I'll show you other places where kesef is more chomur and kesef shtar is kal. No. So then you don't have a kavachoyim. Kavachoyim has to be vadai. For sure, this is chomur, this is kal. It's not vadai chomur, no? Yes. The what? It's just numbers. Talten chada. Numbers.
Not do something that Star could, and so unless we know otherwise, Star could be able to do anything that Kesef could do.
1 second, stop. So this.
That here's something that Kesef could do that Star can't do, so therefore you don't say that Star is weaker than don't say that Kesef is weaker than Star.
So we're looking for cards that Kesef cannot produce, Star can produce, and I show you places where Kesef could produce and Star not. It's numbers game, or it's something intrinsic, kal v'chomer kal and chomo. No, you're saying there's no. Not only that, as we started, probably the Ritva understood that Star, when we say Minayin she'ab b'Star, that Star intrinsically is much weaker than Kesef, because there is a Maisakinyan plus value, and Star is only just a Maisakinyan. So therefore, Ab b'Star, how do we know that even Star works? Before Pesukim. Minayin she'ab b'Star. So you see Star is Koach de Teira. You can't talk about numbers, because if Kesef is the big guy and Star is a small guy, so what do we care about numbers? If the numbers shows strong and weak, 10 kilos, 5 kilos weight, so then it's okay. But if just numbers game, we know already that Kesef is stronger. He's the big guy. So a big guy, he has one card. It doesn't have a second card. Star has card that the big guy doesn't have. He can have also the other card. But Kesef is stronger. So that's why the Ritva had to turn over the Gemara. That the Pshat is what that Kesef, although Kesef is the big guy, and Star is a small guy, but you see Kesef doesn't have Koach de Teira, cannot pick up 10 kilos. And Star, which is weaker, is a small guy, but has the Koach de Teira. Surely can machmir. He says, not true. I'll show you Kesef. I'll show you where Kesef does have Koach de Teira. And Star doesn't. Must be it's Mesuyam or something special why it doesn't produce Girushi. Katego, Sanego, whatever this story is. This is the way the Ritva learns a Shakle time. What do we gain by putting this first in the Sugya? That the subject matter here is not in to prove the power of Star intrinsic against Kesef and Kesef against Star. The Kal Vachomer is in the power, what can it produce? So therefore Gemara says, I will show you that Kesef can produce also Heter. Star doesn't. Comes Rashi. So now we have Rashi here in the spot. The Ktsois HaChoshen brings down a Machloikas Rishonim and the Afechet Amud Beis, which we must see, Bezrat Hashem. And then we have to figure out where Rashi is holding, which group Rashi belongs to. Okay? This is the Ktsois. This is the way the Rashba understood Rashi. And this is what we want to clarify today. So Rashi says by us, Shtar shen pointing by Gdeshosh, Rashi says. I'm reading Rashi. Rashi in Dafrei Amud Aleph above. Im kosav lagiz bo shtar al moes pidon hegdesh, en hegdesh podon. So I said to the boys during the week, we have to picture in our mind, how does it work by hegdesh? If the hegdesh owns a piece of land, you can't just go and redeem it. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says, those that learn Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Hayomi, The Gemara says you have to bring 10 Jews and one of them has to be Kohen to do an appraisal. Asor vechot Kohen. They have to make an appraisal. Once they have a number, how much this land is worth, then the Gizba can go and look for it. You can't just, Gizba's not to give gifts. He has neighbors, friends, nephews. Can't just make deals with them. You have to have an appraisal with 10, imagine 10. And by metaltim is 3, and that could be through the kuchos, shutfim, the partners. What about the Gemara brings like Surah, 2 people which were partners in one business, like this rabbi, a papa, a whole discussion, Gemara Sanhedrin. Then we very worry it shouldn't be in Spanish, bajita la mesa. Bajita la mesa. Bajo la mesa. Bajita la tenasa. No. It's to be no bakshish, anything above the mesa. Not below the mesa. Right? It's to be above. What was the guy that used to be in the yeshiva? Moshe Kapoya. I didn't see him for years and years. I don't know if he's still alive.
He's from Chile.
No, he's from Brazil. He was. Where's he from? Mexico. Ah, right, so Mexico, right. Anyhow, we had a guy in the yeshiva, every second word was under the table. Bajita la tenasa. Okay.
And what you pay, like, if you have to pay, I mean, is it knas?
No, it's a din of the Torah that the Ekdesh needs to gain from the exchange. Okay. So Shaila, there's a piece by my brothers on the Chumash. He deals with trying to prove from all the Shahs that we have Chumash. What's the din of the Chumash? What's the Yesoid din? One time we try to clarify this. Anyhow, it's not our subject. So first we have to picture the idea. 1 second. This is exactly what I talk about. 1 second. I said normally, first, how do we get to the Mois of Pidyon? Now she says, he wrote a star to the Gizbo, star on the money of the Pidyon Videsh. Money of Pidyon Videsh, where it comes from? It comes from appraisals. There are appraisals, 10 appraisals. One of them has to be a coin which has an interest. Not the haters will not lose. And they bring 10 appraisals. Imagine, wow, 10 appraisals. And they get out with a number. And then the Gizbo goes, he doesn't give it out for free. People have to give him the money if they want to redeem it. Okay. Now she says, a document that you don't redeem Ekdeshus with it. Now she cuts the words, Meiser Sheni. He doesn't write Meiser Sheni, he should write Ekdeshus. And not only that, Ekdeshus is plural. Okay, you have to know why. The Ktsois, that's the Ktsois big problem against Rashi. But let's see. Im Kosav la Gizbo. If the Redeemer wrote to the Gizbo, to the treasure man, start a document, on a document on Maot Pidyon Ekdesh, on the money of the redeeming of Hekdesh. And Hekdesh Podun. His Hekdesh is not redeemed. Why? The Ba'inan Venosar Kesef, you need to give the money. He brings a posuk, then it says give the money and then it will be established. Only money can establish it. But a star on the money of the redeeming of Hekdesh, if I wrote a star, is not important. Now here, Rashi is very not clear, and I'll explain what's unclear. Why it's unclear? First of all, Rashi doesn't say im kosam lagizbar shtar choim, a document of a debt ala mois on the money. He says he wrote a star on the money of Pidyon Ekdesh. Now wait a second. 1 second. I want to explain. Money of the Pidyon Ekdesh is what? The money of the Pidyon Ekdesh is what? It's a debt. When I give money to redeem Ekdesh, it's a debt. What is it? What? A chayv on the land that I want to redeem. So the star should be on the money or star should be on the land? What Rashi should have written? In course of star ala karka shel Ekdesh, if I wrote a star on the karka of Ekdesh, it doesn't work because it's a kesef. Suddenly, Rashi's very weird. Rashi says he's not talking about writing star on the land. He's saying writing star on what? On money. On which money? 1 second. On which money? No, Rashi says not on Moes Shu Chayav Lepidyon. It doesn't say money in Kosav Star. What does Rashi does say? In Kosav La Gizbar Star, I wrote the Gizbar Star. Al Moes Pidyon Egdesh, on the money of the redeeming of Egdesh. Not clear at all. 1 second. First I'll say all the options and you will make a decision what Rashi is saying. If Rashi would say, I'm writing a star on the land. No, Rashi didn't say that. Rashi didn't say I'm writing a star on the land. And Rashi, 1 second. And Rashi didn't say, I write a star of a debt of money that the debt will redeem the land. Rashi didn't say that too. Let's read inside the language. 1 second, be careful in the words. Medayik, what it says, it's a lot of missing here. That's why there's a lot of mystery here. We have machlokes showing what Rashi meant here. Machlokes between the Rashba, what Rashi meant, and the Makne. It's not so clear. The Ktsois, but he's trying to figure out what Rashi's saying. So first say what Rashi's saying, then the same where it's unclear and where you have to fill in, and where you decide to fill in, and where you're not going to decide to fill in. So when I say what Rashi didn't write, now let's define what Rashi did write. Rashi said one thing. In Kosav La Gizbo, if the person wrote a document to the treasure man, in Kosav La Gizbo Shtar, I wrote the Gizbo Shtar. Rashi doesn't say Shtar Chov, a debt of debt, a document of a debt. He just said, I wrote a shtar on. What should be on? If I write a shtar on, should be on the land. Suddenly Rashi takes a left, not straight. He says, I wrote a shtar on. No. Oh. Al Ma'ot Pidyon Egdesh. On the money of the redeeming of Egdesh. 1 second. What does it mean, Lichoira? I go to the Gizba and he says he has a big sign. This land is worth $100,000. So I write the Gizba a shtar, and the money, what's the money means? It means price tag. Money here means not on the money, physical money. On a price tag. It was a price tag. Al Mois Pidyon Egdesh. At what the appraisals are asking the amount of money to redeem the Egdesh, and I write a shtar on it. Kind of, right? That's what Rashi is saying. What? The Lichoiro apparently is mashma and Rashi that I write in a shtar, I write the Gizbar shtar on the money of the Pidyon Egdesh, and the money, which is the amount of money of Pidyon Egdesh, I write a shtar on it. What? What's the nusach? I'm saying the pashtus is the pashtus. 1 second. The pashtus is I write I owe you. That's what I write. I owe you. You heard the word I owe you? The letter I, the letter O, the letter U. I owe you. Then you write a number, 100,000. Then you write an S with 2 lines. I owe you. Ksav Yodoi, or you bring 2 Eidim, or you do Mesira. That's what you give. Take a check. I owe you. That's all. In Kosa la Gizbo shtar, he wrote a shtar. Al Mois Pidyon Egdesh, and the money of redeeming Egdesh. So I wrote the shtar of promising that money. Wait a second. Okay, so when you give the money, be redeemed. Now you only obligated yourself. So you want from the obligation already to redeem. That's what you did. Poidim, you want to point it. And it doesn't work. The Ba'inan, you need to give the money. So maybe later on when you give the money, will be Pidyon. Midoraisa maybe. The Rabban Amaras, the Gemara says, Ula says, the Rabban people will say, Shtar as pointed, it doesn't work. But he wants to use the star of the debt, star choiv. So although Rashi would be much better by saying in kosav agizbar star choiv al moes, a document of a debt. Rashi says because agizbar star. I wrote a star on. That's saying Rashi didn't define which type of star is it. We have to understand ourselves. If I write a star on money, it's a promissory note, so it's called a star, and it's a star choiv day. Why not? I obligated myself. When I wrote on the star, I owe you X amount of money, and I sign under it, and he picks it up, and I give it to the misdas mischayev. You have the mischayev, and I give it over to the receiver. So you have it, das mischayev right away. It becomes a star. It's nice to keep it on the basing, and you have it. It's a kinyan star, and I owe you on mechayev. No, right now when I give it to him. And I sign it, it's written in it that I'm obligating myself. When he receives it and he picks it up, you have das amischayev, you have a star, and then it's finished. It's star choiv. No, not star that will be star choiv. Star that I'm obligating myself with a choiv. No, but the star obligates. The star is mechayev. When he receives the star, it obligates me, mischayev. Yes. What?
Very clear because it's just the harmony to say that's enough. Not that it makes a kid, it's enough to be the basis for a kid to give it. It's a harmony to maybe yes, but not so. So that's very clear.
Okay, very good. Very happy with this. We'll see soon. It's not so simple. There's other pshats here. So before we decide what Rashi really says, we have to open the Chet Amud Beis. Monen kan mashkonen. The machloikes between Toisvis, Rosh, and Ramban and Rashba. Okay? The Gemara says Lafchet Amud Aleph in the bottom. Omar Rove Maramach. Omar is the last line. Chet Amud Aleph. Iskachli b'mono. V'iniach lo imashkan ole eino mekudeshes mono enka mashkon enka. Mono enka, because I only promised with words. Ilkach, therefore, mashken ino shoveklu, the mashkon is nothing. Sheena mashkon matona. So Rashi, Rosh, Rashba, Lichoy, all of them say that the reason why Mekadesh with a promise and he gives a mashkon is nothing, since the promise is words, and the mashkon is to fulfill the words, and words don't obligate you. No ma'asekinim with words. So therefore, there's no obligation. We made it the mashkon is to cover an obligation, but if the obligation never started, so the mashkon cannot obligate that because it doesn't cover it. There's no obligation. The agreement with words. So you ever heard from the Rebbe Milah Milon? You remember he used to say Milah Milon, word is like a melon, or Milon means a dictionary. It's only words, finish. Right, but it's not enough to obligate you. Not enough to obligate you. What?
You have to have a havamina. Can't start with something. You have to have a havamina. You have to explain the havamina. Say it's out. Not true. Can't explain the havamina. You don't have to decide.
What? I can't. What do you want?
You can't explain the havamina why it should work, and he's saying it doesn't. Then you're possibly understanding.
Yeah, I'm explaining. The havamina was that when I give a physical mashkon, an obligatory of words, the avamina that since I'm giving mashkon with something physical, for the words you spoke, the avamina would work. Rova says no, since the words is only words, and the mashkon is to support words which never took effect, so therefore the words are zero and the mashkon is zero. This is the way that Rashi, Toises, Rosh learn. But the Ramban and the Rashba, one second. So according to Toises and the Rosh, they say, what happens if somebody gives a third party obligation? He takes a check from a third party, I owe you from somebody else, and he gives and he gives. What? He gives to the woman. Says definitely be kesef. Definitely be kesef. Right?
Didn't guess it, mom was guessing.
Mamash kesef. And not only that, if I give shtar chov day, according to Rashi and the Rashba, look, everybody has the choice. People have the choice that's inside. People have the choice. Where's Binyamin? Is that around? Oh, I have it here. Here, the choice. Choice Simen Kuf Tzadik Sivkot on Zayin. Do you have the choice? You have? Kuf Tzadik Sivkot on Zayin. Vov is Vov. Comes the choice, and he brings the Machloikes Toises Rosh against Ramban and Rashi. The question is where I position Rashi. You don't have the choice. They printed here. You have here in this table. Come and take. Come take here. They need there. The people. By the way, where's the rest of your boys there? Not sure. Okay.
He said Machai himself, and then he wrote the star, or he never said Machai. This is what I'm.
There is just Machai with words.
But he Machai said the words, I'm Machai myself, and then he wrote the star afterwards.
No, he says, I want to marry you with the money. You're going to be married to me with 100 zuz. And here's the collateral. He promised, I'll give you 100 zuz. He gives the collateral. It's words. Now let's see. I'm reading the choice. Perekam el kiddush nafches mon enkan mashkon enkan. The time of the mashkon enkan muvur barosh. The kolzman shel nischai gufo ilo nishta benechosov dinu reivi. When he didn't obligate his body, just words. So the assets are not guarantors if he didn't obligate his body. When there's no borrower, there's no guarantor. The Ein Shama Toises, Mone Inkan, Toises says the same. The Leshita Zu, according to Toises and Rashi, Toises and Rosh, Im Nosan Shtarchov, if somebody gives a Shtarchov. Yes, I'm reading the Ktsois on the left side. On the right side, In Niach Mashkor. So I went 7 lines down. V'ayin shama toisus. V'leshita zu. Im nosan shtarchov, if somebody gives a shtarchov, so there is a king in not words. Me'ani afilu b'loi mashkon, held with no mashkon. V'shtarchov didei avele kemoi kesef, ve'ele kiddush v'nekar. That's what's important for us. Not only shtarchov da'acherim, even shtarchov didei, even his own check, but when you write a check, so the king and shtar, the giving over the shtar of the debt, ROU, promissory note, that note that king and shtar of choiv obligates you, and therefore becomes money. Yes, come on. Why not? We'll see soon why not. Guess in good moment. Doesn't work by Kedeshus and Ma'aseh Hashem. So again, we have Rosh and Toises that says that why Mekadesh be'moneh v'iniach mashkon and mekudeshes, because there's no loive, there's no ored, there's no borrower, there's no guarantor. But when there is a law, there is an obligation, because he wrote a shtar chov ditei afilu, so there is an obligation of the debt. So then that obligation of the debt itself becomes money, like money, and it works for kiddushin, and you can work for kaf. Now it's not clear in what way it becomes money. The full value of the money or market value. A check has a market value, a little bit less, couple of percent to less. If you go to a change place, whatever, people want to buy it for less, but it has value, has market value. Or no, the number, since you can go and collect that number from the person, so it's a full number. I received the full number because I gave it them. It's not clear. The Ktois will be stopping in a second about it. But that's what the Toisves and the Rosh learned. The Shitas Haramban v'Arashbo, the mashkoin shopping nikna. Even when I promise money with words and I give a mashkoin, the mashkoin, the orev can become an orev. Even though there's no it's not like money for kiddushin and karka. Why? The Rashba says, for Kiddushin, is not like Kesef. Because by Kesef and Karka, need to have two peulos. One is has to come out of you. Number two, the person has to receive. So Shtarchov Didei, she received. The buyer, the seller received. The woman received, but it never went out of me. Estuli says the word Ogid Gabe. She got a promissory note, so she received the debt. It's a piece of paper. He gave it to her.
That the mice
The mice in his side. So he's saying since she receives the choiv, and the choiv exists,
he gave it.
and could be money anywhere else, but by Kiddushin and Kaga is not considered money. Why? Because you need tarte. That's the language of the Rashba. It's printed in the papers. If you look at two things you need. Look in the papers we gave in the Diaspora Yeshiva papers. It's brought down the Rashba. You see the Rashba on the third page, on the third Omud, the second paragraph from the bottom. You have it there? So he says that I'm reading the last line in that paragraph, and it's sticking out in black words. We need two things. As to come out of your domain, the ikonas b'Yishusa will enter her domain. So he says, if somebody else gave me a check and I gave it to the woman, so I had two things. She received a choiv, and the choiv went out of me. I'm not attached to it. But when I created that to her and I give her I give her a promissory note for myself, so she received the debt through the note, but it's still attached to me because I'm just obligated myself. But when I give a promissory note of somebody else that I had in my hand, I give it over, I totally detach myself from it. So therefore she received and it detached from me. So there is a Yetzia, Sheyoitzi Mishusoi, the Yarusan has to enter a domain. It's a different thing. That's a different thing. Yes, but that's enough for money. That's enough for money for Kiddushin and for Karka.
I think it's sports, not
For Kiddushin and Karka, there's a market value. There is enough. It's considered enough money for Kiddushin and Karka. But when I consider a debt, a promise, a debt, obligation of a debt, of a shiabut, is enough of kesef, karka, and kinyan, only shtarchov da'acherim. Why? As you see the 1.5 line, the strong 1.5 lines at the beginning of the Rashba, shtarchov da'acherim, afagav de'einu in the sin lo yitzo, da'af in the sin lo yitzo, even though, like you said, the money is in the hands of others. I'm reading the same Rashba I just read, but the first 2 lines. However, since he takes out the shiabut from his domain, and he brings it to her domain, is he took as if he gave a pruta from his hands to her hand. And that works by karka and by Kiddushin. Right. So again, what do we got here? We have a machloikes between Rosh and Tosfos against Ramban and Rashi. According to Rosh and Tosfos, when I write Shtarchov Didei, or Kal Vachomer Shtarchov Da'acherim, and even Shtarchov Didei, it works by Kiddushin and Karka. It's considered Kesef by Kiddushin and Karka. But the Ramban and Rashba say it's not Shtarchov Da'acherim. It is Kesef by Kiddushin and Karka because you have Yetzia and Nesina. Shtarchov Didei is not considered Kesef by Kiddushin and Karka. There's only Nesina but no Yetzia. It's still Agida Gabe. This is the Machlokes Rishonim. Comes the Ktsois HaChoshim. What? So the Reb Shmuel Rozovsky in the papers here in the end, he wants to say that they hold that the fact that I created, like he said, I wrote a promissory note and I gave it, I created, the money should be by her, it's like me giving it. Says although no money came out of me, but there was a nesina because of my creation, like a nesina. It's not only receivers in nesina. That's what he learned. That's what he's magdi of them. Even though it didn't come out of your domain, but you created it. It's as if so you create the creation. You created her. You created her receiving. So through you, she got a receiving. It's like it's this, so you are the giver. She gave, although you nothing left in me. But they learn no. The Ramban and the Rashba says no. Shtarchov da'acheim. There's a nesina. There's yetzi in the nesina. Tarte. Shtarchov l'idei is only chada. What does chada means? Uno. What is uno? Bruno. What is Bruno? Italiano. No joke. A little bit joke, You're allowed to say joke. Rav used to say joke. What? Okay, we made it up now. You have to pay people. It says if you don't laugh, your mind will get stuck. You have to, Okay. Say again. So what do we got here? The question is, where I position Rashi? Here, Rabbi Yoshua. Where I position Shitas Rashi? Number one here, the Ktsois wants to say, let's see the Ktsois inside a bit more. The Ktsois Achoishin, continue on more a little bit. On the first page, 4 lines from the big lines on the right side. Veleshitoso. Uadi noister sharchov lo ya bekesef bekidushim lekaka keven odi gabe velo tzomishusoi. Ein deisulo beben ezer beramo. Ine nire raya. The shtarchov me'ani b'mokom kesef. He wants to bring a raya that shtarchov does work as money. Like who? Like the toises and the rosh. Modi says perikanoise. Kosav lakoin shani chayv lo 5 sloim. If somebody wrote a kohen, I owe you 5 shekels, 5 sloim, not shekels. Shekalim of the Torah. Sloim, you're obligated to give him 5 sloim, but your son is not podul. Ula says when you do give the money, not when you gave the promissory note of the 5 shekels. Rather, when you gave the money, the son midoraisas podul. My time home why, when you do give the money, it doesn't work because people deceive. The star did it. When somebody gives a promissory note to a kohen of 5 shekels, so from the Torah it says, when I give the 5 shekels, the son is podur. The Rabbon is not podur even when I give the money, because people would say the star did it. Since Ula says the son is redeemed when he gives, midoraisa, mashma koidim shiten, before when I just wrote the promissory note, vada ino podo yafilu matei is not redeemed from the table. V'neima comes the choice and he says, v'neima the shtarchov didei avekimo kesef. If you want to say like who, like the rosh and like the toises that shtarchov didei is money. Im ken if so. So why from the Torah the son is not redeeming before I gave the money? I gave a promissory note, and the promissory note is kesef, kiddushin, and karka. So why here is not kesef? Stop. So he gives right away the answer in a second. That is a din in Gufo Momoin, it's Chisorin and Pidyon Aben and Egdesh in Gufo Momoin. But he can say much easier. He said, why Ishan Chodideh is not money to redeem? Because she needs 5. And when I write a promissory note, his only market value is less than 5, so I don't have 5. So I'm not giving 5 yet. Right? So market value is less. You can say that. It's possible to say that. And it won't be difference between this my star or other people's star. Me always says, so he says, me however, after is possible. The shiny pidyon different is redemption, redeeming the baby or egdesh. Came and the imit avodim mishtorah shepodim sin. The Torah says slaves and documents and gufa momo and you cannot redeem. And came adim mishtorah today. Also, when you write your own shtarchov, nami and poidim you cannot redeem mishum delav gufa momo. Not because it's not money, it's money, but it's not money that is relevant to pidyon and it's to be gufa momo. It's shvei kesef. The kiddushin and karka shvei kesef. When we talk about Gufo Momo, it's a dinim and Pidyon Hegdesh, and you need Gufo Momo and a special dinim that Karka is out, Avodim is out, Shtor is out, even it's money. Promissory note is money. It's market value. It doesn't work because it's not good for him. אבל בקידושין דבר נשתחוב לאחרים, קידושין, if he gives שתחוב לאחרים, even the Rashba and Ramban agree that it works. Everybody agrees, שתחוב לאחרים works by קידושין. And by Hekdesh doesn't work, it's a Gufa Moed. Shloimah what is שתחוב לידי, you can say even שתחוב לידי would work because it's not Pidyon. So again, what did he gain here? He says, the Machloikes Rosh and Rashba, that when I give Shtachov Didei is considered Kesef and Kiddushin and Karka, that Rosh and Toisa says it is Kesef, and the Rashba and the Ramban says it's not Kesef for Kiddushin and Karka, but everybody agrees Shtachov Da'acherim is Kesef and Kiddushin and Karka. He says there's no raya from Pidyon Aben, that by Pidyon Aben Shtachov doesn't work because there's a special deed, Gufay Momay. So it's Kesef, Shve Kesef, but not to the level of Hekdesh when you go home. But we talk about Kiddushin and Karka, it is Kesef, Kemo Kesef. In a different Bechina. The Bechina of Kesef, Shve Kesef, because I don't need to go for a moment. That the Postuk Nosar Kel Kamri tells you only Kesef, not Kesef, which is not go for a moment. Tu Klal Patu Klal.
It's small leveling cross.
Yeah, but Posuk doesn't tell me that Kesef, once we relax. It tells us Kesef. Maybe Shtarchov it is Kesef. Like we see by Kiddush and Karka it is Kesef. So you need the Klal Upratu Klal to tell you that such Kesef of Shtar, Shvekesef of Shtarchoid is not enough of a Kesef because then Guvamoim by and the Venosa Kesef, the Teres Venosa Kesef Kamloi, because the Klal Upratu Klal exclude this type of Kesef. Shem Guvamoim. That's all. Yes. But Chisoran and Guvamoim by Hekdesh and Meiser Shem. Yes. Aval Bekidushin the Ma'anich. Okay, good. Elo, I'm reading third line from the top of the left column. Third line from the top of the left column. Ela da'akati yesh lechalik. He says, still there is a chilu. Here, the choice is a very big chiddush. You know, it's a revolution. You know, it's a revolution? Revolution. Ela da'akati yesh lechalik. There is still make a chilu. The bestachov da'acherim of others, if I take other people's document, IOU of others, then poidim you cannot redeem. Because it's not money. Because the piece of paper is IOU of others, so it only can lead you to money. The piece of paper, I'm giving over a third party piece of paper, it's not money, it's just a paper, a proof of the debt. So it's not gufa mamay. Since I'm not koine the document, through the proof, I get to the money. And it's the document, then go for a moment, the body's not money. But, very big finish. Aval Shtarchov he wants to make a revolution, earthquake. Aval Shtarchov Aval Shtarchov if it's your Shtarchov, the Mechayev Atzmoy, that he obligates himself. Ubozeni with this is obligating himself. Efshor Pasible, they say have a good for a moment, its body is money. Very big Kiddush. Again, if I take a third party debt, third party check, Shtachov Da'acheim, and I give over to the woman, he says, by Kiddushin and English works, according to everyone, even Rashba and Ramban, because there's a Yitzi in Knisa, there's Yaftarte. But you cannot redeem Hegdesh and Meiser Sheni. Why? Because En Gufa Moman. What I give her a piece of paper, I give her the Raya. Here's my proof of the debt. I'm giving over the Chotemet, the Psilim, there'll be a proof that I owe you the Gdizim. I owe you the sheep, right? So just a proof of it. A piece of paper. 1 second. That's what he says. A lot of people argue on the choice of this. But he says he's giving the raya. How I give over the shiabud? By giving you the hold the raya. When I'm giving over to hold the raya I have of him that he owes me the money, that proof. I'm giving over the proof. So therefore, I'm not coining the shtarcho. I'm just coining the raya. I'm coining the raya. I'm acquiring the raya, the proof. Same gufa moment. But when I give you a promissory note of myself, so what I'm giving you really? I'm giving you a debt, and I'm making a kinyan of the debt. I made a ma'aseh mechayev. The piece of paper is a ma'aseh mechayev that I'm obligating myself to you. So I gave you a debt. I didn't give you a raya. I gave you a ma'aseh kinyan by giving you a promissory note that is written. When I give you the proof of the debt, and I'm doing it, so really that makes me to be. What makes me to be obligated? When I give you over the proof that I owe you. So that myself holding the proof for me is the one that makes me obligated to you the money. So therefore, I'm giving you now. When I'm giving you the proof, I'm really giving you over. I'm giving you over a debt of my body to you. So therefore, he says that's good for more money. That itself is money. Where's the money? Between me and you, a debt or the piece of paper? The piece of paper is just really a proof. But that's a way how they receive so really in the das of the person that receives the proof. When I give him my proof, it's not a piece of paper. He says this piece of paper he promised me, means I have a relation with him. I have a shibud. I received the shibud. So my mind is not to acquire the piece of paper. My mind is to acquire what the piece of paper represents. So maybe there's good for a moment. It says maybe paso efsham. It's a big chiddush. Can I say the same thing? No, it's a proof. I gave him the proof of my obligation. So it's the same thing. The proof is not mammon. So no, you could say efsham. It's possible that it's better and it's even good. You want to say. According to this, Peter Neben would work if it's shachov day. But it's shachov dachei maybe. If you look in Rashi,
he says, "I'm hired to you."
Okay, let's see what Rashi in Masechet Bechoiro says. Okay, unbelievable. We use what it says. Rashi says as follows. Rashi translates the words. Let's see here, Rashi in Bechoros. Daf Nun Halef. Unbelievable Rashi. Let's see what Rashi says there. Rashi Daf Nun Aleph says in Bechoros as follows. Nun Aleph. Rashi says as follows. En poidim lo be'avodim lo be'shtorot or arosh or ekdeshos. Ekdesh and pidyon aben you cannot redeem with avodim and shtorets and karka. So Rashi says v'lo be'shtorets. And reading Rashi and Bechoros Daf Nun Aleph page 51a. V'lo be'shtorets she'im yesh lo shtar al chaveiro b'chamish osloim. You hear? If I have a shtar on my friend of 5 shekels, then the son of la kohen and gave it to the kohen. Sheikh Beroisochov that he will collect that debt. It pidyon bno in the redemption of his son in a podui. What? He will collect it. In order for the sake to collect it, so his son is not redeemed. So according to Rashi, we talk about shtarchov da'acheri. The Mishnah continues. Kosav la kohen, if he wrote to the kohen, shu chayav litan chamisha sloim, that he's obligated to give the kohen 5 shekels, chayav litan lo ibnot popodui, even when he gives me the rabbonon, as all explains again. So Rashi says, kosav la kohen shu chayav. There's a yud here. I can't even see, so small. I can't see it. It's small. Kosav la kohen shu chayav. Chayav lo chamisha shloim. Mishum pidyon b'noi, b'noi no podu gerim b'gemorah l'shem ayom v'shtoretz. So I'm reading the Gemara. ולא בהקדש פשיטה להבדידנו, אימו ולא יקדשוס בחולנו. So I'm reading Rashi. And נפנון א' עמוד בייס. בעבודים שטורויס וקרקויס. Nafkol mikroy betras kohanim that it doesn't work with stories by Hegdesh too. Not on opinion of him. And even when I give, it doesn't work. Shemayomi pointing stories. Afilu enoisim klum. People would say that shtar would work even if I don't give any money. Inami b'shtar sheyesh al chaveiro. Rashi says two options here. Rashi says, if when I do give the money, why child is not redeemed? Because people say shtar can redeem with no money at all. She says, the son is bothering my sekinyan. People say that. Or even shtar that I have and somebody owes me money, he would say that such a shtar will redeem and it won't work. Why such a shtar cannot work? Because then go for a moment. So Rashi all along, when he talks about the Mishnah, talking about shtar chov da'acherim, that's shtar chov didei, right? But the Mishnah says, if I wrote kosav lakoin shu chayov, he wrote the coin, I owe you 5 shekels. He needs to give, and when he gives, it's not redeemed. Because people say work with shtaroids. Which shtar? Shtar of stam shtar kinyan, or shtar of chov da'acherim? What? She doesn't.
No.
Kosav means biday. Kosav means biday.
I know the language of the Mishnah, but when Rashi talks about shtaros all along, he talks about which shtar?
Different case.
The Mishnah says kosav.
No.
Biday.
Here. Kosav lakon shuchayev, omarula. Tvar toiro bno podui, sharinosan apidum, Rashi says. My time in a podui, shemayom upoidim b'shtar. Rashi says, which would say poidim b'shtar? Which star are we talking about? Or shtar kinyan, and the 5 shekels is just a choy, shtar kinyan. So Rashi says, afilo noisen klum, to say even shtar would not in the sina. Inami b'shtar sheshlo chaveiron. And again, when I do give the money, why is that good? Rashi says, because people say the shtar did it. Which shtar did it? Shtar with no giving any money, the shtar kinyan, or shtar chov da'acherim. Rashi didn't say shtar chov didei. No, the first one is not shtar chov didei. It says afilu enoisim klum, means shtar kinyan. Shemayoyim poidim b'shtarois. Which shtarois? Afilu enoisim klum with the shtar. Don't give anything with the shtar. Just b'noi podoi. No, shtar chov didei. The shtar chov, it is the shtar didei, shtar chov didei, and the shtar chov da'acherim. Rashi says, oh, shtar kinyan afilu enoisim klum. Inami b'shtar sheshlach al chaver or shtar chov da'acherim. Rashi doesn't say the case of shtar chov didei. And by our sugya, Rashi does say shtar chov didei. When he reads, again, when Rashi speaks about Masechet Choyrois, means kosav la gizbor, he wrote a gizbor, the language of the Mishnah, kosav la gizbor. Doesn't say who. Kosav la kohen. Shu chayov chamish shloim. The father of the baby. Right. So then chayev liten loy, and it's not in a podui, because people would say that you pointed which star, shtar kinyan or shtar chov da'acherim. Rashi's not dealing with shtar chov didei. I just read Rashi. Rashi says, which shtar, Rashi in the Mishnah, when he says stories, he says shtar chov da'acherim, this is shtar chov didei. And when he says kosav lakoyen, Rashi speaks about he wrote to the Kohen, Litan Lo, Chamisha, to give him Chamisha Shloim. So Rashi says, Afilo Noistim Klum, which means there was just a debt, but now it was Shtar Kinyan with a Kohen. Like I buy land with a Shtar Kinyan. Where's the money? It's just Alva. So Chayv Litan means I'm obligated as an Alva. But it's not Shtar Chov. It's not Shtar Chov. It's not Shtar Chov. It's Shtar Day and Chamisha Shkolim is Alva. You lend it to me now, I'll obligate myself to give you later on. Because what? The Kohen.
Then you call money.
When I buy land, it's like an alvor, like a choy. When I land, but it's not part of the shtar. There's three types of stars. And Rashi, we see in Bechoros Nun Aleph, only talks about two. And by us, he speaks about the third. This is the problem I'm bringing it to the table. Rashi, there's three types of stars. One star is like I buy land. My land is sold to you. Sodi mechur lecha. What about the money? We agreed that you give me the money when you have. No, could be the tonight could be no star, could be verbal. It's not as ASIC. The land is yours. When I wrote Sodi mechur lecha is mochur. My son will be podui. This will be podui or podui. That's the kinyan. Where's the 5 shekels? Whatever, I'll give it to you. But the pidyon is with a shtar. There's one type of shtar. There's another type of shtar. I owe you with this document. I owe you the money. Can I redeem right now? Later on, when I give, that's second type of shtar. Third type of shtar is somebody else wrote a shtar to me and I give it over. The third party, the obligatory document. Shtar chov da'acherim. Okay? When the Rashi translates the Masechet Bechoros, that shtar doesn't work for Pidyon Haben and Hegdesh, which type of shtar Rashi is talking about? Your son will be podoi, shtar kinyan. The Hegdesh will be podoi. Yes. Rashi says, such a shtar doesn't work. You didn't give anything, you have to give. And even if I use a shtar chov da'acherim document of others, which has value, has market value, still it doesn't work. Why? Why it doesn't work? Shtar chov da'acherim, because ain't gufa mamoin. It's not money itself, it's not intrinsic money. So it comes out that shtar kinyan doesn't work because there's no money. Shtar chov da'acherim, which is money, but it's ain't gufa mamoin. But Rashi there did not speak about shtar chov didei. When the Mishnah says the Kohen wrote that I need to give you 5 shekels and he needs to give, which Rashi says, or it's a shtar kinyan, which means I said, I redeem your son with a shtar, and I owe you the money. As we agreed that I owe you the money. But the obligatory of the money is not through the shtar. It's through our agreement. You understand? It's not a shtar chov. It's not a check. You understand? Rashi's not saying that. Rashi's learning in the Mishnah's as a shtar kinyan. And the money will be a debt, a mutual agreement debt, when you have the money. Or that you cannot redeem with such a shtar. Shtar kinyan doesn't work. And even shtar chov da'acherim, which it is money, it doesn't work because I didn't go for mamon. Rashi jumped on the middle case, which he talks in our sugya. Rashi in our sugya wrote the third type of shtar, that the redeemer writes a shtar to the gizbar, or the father writes a shtar to the Kohen about his son, and he writes his own shtar chov didei, which means that he gives him a promissory note, and he obligates to the level that the choice wants to say maybe he's a mamon mamash. Maybe it's mamash mamon, right? So he gave him, he didn't just give him a raya of others, he gave him an obligation through the raya. Okay? This is what really Rashi says by us. So On this, the Ktsoy says like this. This is really the Ktsoy inside. I'm reading in the left column in the second paragraph. He brings Rashi. He says, if you look in the Gemara and the Amud Aleph and Rashi, the simple Rashi is a simple Pshat in the Mishnah in the Gemara. Because Rashi is the Pashton. Rashi writes that we talk about Shtachov Didei, and it's like Kesef. Uminayin Shabishtar. Rashi, he quotes the Gemara. Vedinu. I'm reading the Ktsois in the second paragraph of the left column. Uminayin Shabishtar. Vedinu, ma Kesef, shelo moitzi machnis, star shelo moitzi machnis. He was as Malek Kesef, Eresh Meiser Sheni, Tema Shtar shelo moitzi Sheni, Upirosh Rashi Zah. Now he's quoting Rashi. Shtar shepoidim enesh im kosev lagizbor shtar al amois. If I wrote shtar on the money, so comes the Ktsois HaChoishen, and he says, why Rashi change from all of Shas? In Bechoros and in Ksubis he writes, shtar chov da'acherim, other people's debt. Third party document, debt document. He writes his own document. Why? So he says, he says, when I say minayin she'at b'shtar, we talk about kinyan shtar. If the shtar of the acherim, it's money. Shtar of the, and when I give a woman aran mekodesh, she is my shtar. I don't give her somebody else shtar to mekadesh a woman. It's shtar didei kiddushin. The more about kesef and shtar, we talk about shtar didei. So when I make a chilut, the value of kesef against shtar, which shtar I'm talking about? His shtar. Shtar chov didei. I am a kodesh asli. I owe you. But still doesn't define how do I perceive shtar chov didei. As momoin, gufa momoin, and gufa momoin. It's shtar kinyan, it's a shtar, it's a money, what is it? So he doesn't, where Rashi holds, so listen what he says. If it wasn't for Hegdesh Meiser Sheni, would work such a shtar. Because it's kesef. It's not so. He learns naturally that what the Ktsois here, the Ktsois is there. Rabbi said, where you can give him a Ktsois? Well, what's your name here? Ari. Is the Ktsois there? Good. Again, where does the Ktsois position Rashi? Where does the Ktsois positions Rashi? He says, why Rashi didn't talk about shtar chov da'acherim? Because it's not the subject matter. Talk about shtar kiddushin against kesef. We look at from kesef. Shtar kiddushin. Shtar kiddushin is hero red. So when I say shtar doesn't produce my Hegdesh Meiser Sheni, doesn't mean it's his shtar. It's shtar chov didei, shtar chov da'acherim. So and therefore Rashi says shtar chov didei. So if it wasn't for Hegdesh Meiser Sheni, then he gufa momoin would work. The reason why it doesn't work, the reason why it doesn't work by Hegdesh Meiser Sheni, because not gufa momoin. But why shtar chov didei works by kiddushin and by kaka? Because it's kesef. So he learns Pshat and Rashi, shtar chov didei it's kesef. She says not kesef mamash as gufa momoin to work for Hegdesh Meiser Sheni. The Hegdesh, because you need gufa momoin. But it's enough of a kesef the kenyan kaka and kiddushin. Right? Wrong. Now, just right means that's what he learns. It's very hard. Because the subject matter is not only shtar didei. Talk about shtar kesef. The subject matter is shtar or kesef. I'm not going to have a kesef. So even talk about shtar choiv, again. Again. But we talk about kesef against shtar. So Rashi had two options which type of shtar we talk about. Then when we say that it redeems Hegdesh, shtar acherim, shtar chov da'acherim, or shtar didei. Why Rashi comes to Ktsois and he says, why Rashi didn't show shtar chov da'acherim? because it's not the subject matter. Kiddushin is shtar today. Agan Mekodesh Esri. He wrote the shtar. Must be the day. And how he defines it's like Tosis in the Rosh. Shtar Chov the day. It's kesef. So I'm saying, Kana ben Shaul, if it's kesef. So also, you didn't gain. So we're talking about shtar, not kesef. It's kesef for Kiddushin, but it's not kesef for Egdish Maizasheni. It didn't really kesef for Mammon. But it's kesef, Shvei kesef. But it's Shvei kesef. And we want to learn shtar, not kesef, not kesef, we want to learn shtar. So how is it possible to learn Pshat and Rashi? The Marash shtar means shtar chov, means that I'm giving her kesef. Not possible. Shvei kesef means kesef. Yeah, but there's enough. Yes, but when the Mishnah, 1 second, my friend. When the Mishnah says kesef in the Mishnah, what the Mishnah said? Pruto shvet v'shvet pruto. Remember that Mishnah? Good. So the talk about kesef, shvet kesef is kesef. And we had a whole sugya for 1 month. What's the Mekoil, Misvoro, Miposu, by Evedivri, by Kedushin? Remember? I learned from a month back and forth. So 1 second, I said, how is it possible? It's much stronger Kashi on Rashi. How can he put Rashi with a group? Of which group? Toises and Nerosh. That Starchov, the day is Kesef, Bekidushin, Bekidushin, and Kinyan Kaka. Why Rashi didn't stay Starchov the Acherim? Because it's Starchov the Acherim. It's not our subject. We want to start Kiddushin, he wrote it. I'm saying the same Kashi should be on you. How you learn such a figure Rashi? Starchov the day, if it's Kesef. So it's not Shtar Kiddushin. It's Kesef Kiddushin. We're talking about Shtar Kiddushin. Must be, 1 second, must be that Rashi, when he says Shtar Almos, he's talking about Shtar Kinyan, which is also Shtar Chov. I'll explain what does that mean. It's a Shtar Kinyan with a Choiv. What does that mean? I'll explain what does that mean. When I write a Shtar Choiv, I'm making a Kinyan on the Choiv through the Shtar Chov. On the debt. How I obligate myself? Say, I owe you money. Because I'm giving you a proof, a piece of paper, which is a proof on the debt. That itself is the kinyan of the shiabud, right? So what I'm giving over the woman, I'm giving over a woman a shiabud through a kinyan shtar choiv didei, right? Good. So really, there's 2 parts. I want to explain my idea, my understanding in Rashi. There's 2 parts in Egdish. To redeem Egdish, there's 2 parts. One is I have to make a Maisa Kinyan on the value of the land. 1 second. I will say Egdish, I will say back Kiddushi. Okay, we'll go back and forth on it. That's the subject matter. I'm saying we talk about Shtar Chov Didei, but Rashi doesn't define Shtar Chov Didei as Kesef, like Toises in the Rosh, because then we have a very simple kasha on Rashi. The subject matter is Shtar, not Kesef. So I'm saying no. Rashi is like the Rashbo. Egdesh de Podui. I'm redeeming the Egdesh with the Shtar. And I'm owing money to pay that Egdesh. And I wrote, I owe you that money. Not through virtual words, through a piece of paper. So now the piece of paper is making a kinyan too, because you need 2 parts to do. When you do pidyon, you need two parts, as Reb Chaim Alevi said. You need one is you do a Maisa Kinyan to remove the Baalut, to remove the ownership. 2 halokim, right? 1 to remove the Baalut, the ownership. Number 2, I need money, I need value, Shve Kesef, in order for the Kedusha to transfer. So those who learn, like the Rashbo, that the Shtar is only Shtar Kinyan, not Shtar Choiv, only Shtar Kinyan, like the Rashbo, they have a big problem. Where, okay, you did a Maise to remove the ownership, but where the holding is going to transfer? On a piece of paper. So the Greens needs to Mechadesh, Al Pi Reb Chaim, yes. As long the Maise Kinyan works on the Baalut, the Kedusha can be transferred even less than Shabbat Pruta. It's a very big Kiddush on the Rashba. Very hard. Because it's hard even not on Shovit. Pashas, when you have 10 Jews, need to give an appraisal. The appraisal has to be, you have to get the money. The Gizmo has to get money, not a piece of paper, right? Not a piece of paper. Doesn't make sense. No. So 1 second. That's what Rashi bypasses this. The Rashi says, I'm giving you a star. I'm giving you a star. It's a star kinyan. What about the money? The money needs to be transferred on something on Ezer. And I owe you the money. She's giving you a star kinyan with a star chov day. Why do I need a star kinyan? Because the subject matter is star kinyan. That's why Rashi didn't say, of course I need a star chov. I'm saying it's not a star chov, it's a star. But also, as in it, a chov on the money. Why? Because the kedusha transferred somewhere and transferred on the chov. And chov has a market value. Star chov day, you can go and sell it as a market value, has money to be transferred to be halal. Okay? Needs to be halal on something. So where's the money to be halal? That cannot be the piece of paper. Very hard. The Rashi was much harder, Rashi said. Where it can be halal? So Rashi, he was a musician, he was a music, how do you call it? Kosem, magician. He put a rabbit out of his hat. What was the rabbit? In course of la Gizmo Star, he wrote the Gizmo Star, Egdos a problem, the Maisakinyan. Where's the halos of the Egdos to be transferred? Alam Mois, he wrote a star and the Mois too. And the Mois that he owes you, I owe you money. So really what the star did, it did a Kenyan. Who says this? The Makna. The Makna learns that really Rashi is like the Rashi. When Rashi, because of the star, means it's a star Kenyan, and he just owes him the money. Where's the owing? Through the star he owes it, or verbal? Rashi says it's verbal. I'm learning that Rashi argues on this point on the Rashi, that the debt is not verbal, the debt is through the star. So the star is really doing two functioning. One function star because the subject matter is star kinyan, and the star kinyan breaks the kedusha, the ownership, the bailus of the hegdesh, and by kiddushin star kinyan works, and by karka star kinyan works. What does he need the promissory note to be written in the star too? Because the hegdesh to be chal on something. Where's the chalois? On what? So the kiddush needs to mechadish pshat nerashbo. That is chal even on a piece of paper. Let's show a put. It's a big kiddush, not a simple Egdish. That if you have 10 people appraising Egdish on karka, it's not extra derabonon that we pour it on pruta and throw it to Yamamelach. When we talk about chilul of derabonon, we talk about doraisa, a value. So you need to have mamish the full value. Yeah, we have a whole masechet meila. A whole masechet, how much you have to be exact. You be in our moyel, you cannot give gifts, has to be exact. And you have to have the appraisal, and 10 Jews with appraisal, and kohen. So where's that money going to go to? Where the egg is going to go to? Michal and the debt that is written in the shtar. What? So why by egg doesn't work? Not because the Mexican. Once again, why by egg doesn't work? The Torah says kesef and not shtar. Why not shtar? Shtar kinyan doesn't work because ain't good for mama. I need money, not shtar. Elamai, I gave a promissory note 2 years. This chaybus is also an ain't good for mama in the shtar, not like the choice, not like the chizur choice. Like who? Like the Rashbo and like the Ramban. That really shtar chov the day is not maybe you receive and didn't give, so it's not money even. Could be it's not. 1 second. No, here it's a little bit different. We're going to say it is money. It is money mitzad kiddushin because I created the money by him. Mitzad kiddushin and karka shtar chov. I made some of myself up. No, I don't have to comment on that. The shtar is a shtar kinyan. That's what works for kiddushin and karka. Why Rashi added that the debt is not verbal like the Rashbo? Why he wrote that is a star also, not only star, it's also on the Mois Pidio, and also there's the Mois Pidio is mentioned, the debt of the Mois Pidio is mentioned in the star too, because you need to have a chalois of the Gdush to go on something. So by Pidio, if I say Sheini, Rashi had to say star of the day, not just the Maisekin, because where the money's going to go to, where the money's going to transfer, like the Rashi. It's hard. So you say there's also star, And there's also on Mois, there's a choiv on the Mois, star and choiv on the Mois. By Kiddushin works. Because I have a star kinyan. What about the choiv? Can the choiv work for Kiddushin? According to Toises, it's kesef, can work mitzat kesef, shaboy. So you have two kinyonim, star and kesef. According to the Rash, was not kesef. Where Rash, I'm open. It's an open sky. Hashamayim ptuchim. But again, so we taking the makne, but we will give it a small twist. The makne wants to put Rashi exactly like the Rashba. That when he says star, and Mois means star kinyan. And the Mois means it will be a choiv verbally. Like Rashba. Saying no. Rashi's learning star as my sekina because that's Kiddushin, talking about my star kinyan is star. Well, why you have to add that the choiv is written in the star, not verbally? Because he has a problem with chalois egdesh. Although I did my sekin to mafkia, where the chalois is rechal. He says there's a choiv, it's a written choiv, and on a choiv it could be chal on it. The only reason why it doesn't work because the Torah says gufa momoin is not gufa momoin, which means the chalois of edes cannot transfer to shtar chov didei because it's not gufa momoin. It's not a chisoron in my sekinim. It's a chisoron in what? In the chalois of kedusha. A little bit weird comes out, which means because this is a shtar kinyan. Or no, the Torah says the Gemara didn't bring in why shtar doesn't work because there's en gufa momoin. The Gemara says because it says kesef. So kesef mafkia shtar. What about shtar chov da'acherim? It is money. It is kesef and gufa momoin. So which means when we learn in Rashi that really we talk about shtar kinyan, and velosa kesef kamok says only kesef not shtar. What about mitzad the choiv that is written on it, and that it's money? Then gufa momoin. But why Rashi add that money of choiv? Because he needs the kedusha to be transferred to something. If there was no choiv, where's going to be transferred? The Ktsoisa Choishan has a problem with Rashi. Sorry, has a problem with the Rashba. He says, how can you write shtar kinyan on Meiser Sheni? If the shtar choiv, so shtar choiv works, even today, others of today works on Meiser Sheni. You are the owner of the Meiser Sheni. You write a shtar to redeem the Meiser Sheni. So you need shtar choiv, it's like kesef, some kind of kesef. But if the shtar kinyan like the Rashba and money is a debt, alvo a debt, but the shtar kinyan needs to redeem. How can a person write for himself a Meiser Sheni? First of all, who's writing it to? And even if we salve it, he says still, there's a bigger problem. Meiser Sheni is unmovable things and fruits. You don't write stars on the tartali. Egdesh could be karka. So you write a star. But how can a star works in Meiser Sheni? So he says that's why Rashi couldn't learn like the Rashba, the Shtar Kinyan. The Shtar Kinyan doesn't work from a tartali. That's why he wrote Shtar of Kesef, of Choiv, it's Kesef. But we have a bigger problem on Rashi. Our subject matter is not Kesef, Shtar. So either way you go, you're stuck. If you want to satisfy Meiser Sheni, which is cannot metaltin, cannot work with shtar only with money, so he said shtar chov. But if you gain Meiser Sheni, you're stuck with kiddushin. Subject matter is kiddushin, is shtar, not kesef. See the way you go, you're stuck. He says, one second, I'm just going over on the choice. The says Rashi didn't like to say like the Rachel shtar kinyan because if a shtar kinyan, Rachel shtar kinyan from metaltin, Meiser Sheni is metaltin. And if you want to say it's not shtar kinyan because the metalin around this money is shtar choiv, there's a problem here. On Rashi and Rashi, it's a shtar choiv. The subject matter is not a shtar choiv money. The subject matter is shtar. See what we say? No. The way we're answering is very simple. We're saying really the shtar is two things here. The shtar is a Meiser Kinyan, it's a reizeg the spodui, and the money I owe you the money. I owe you. I write in the shtar the debt, not a verbal agreement, a written agreement. It's a shtar kinyan with obligatory shtar that I'll pay you the money. So one second. So the shtar is a shtar kinyan by kiddushin kind of work. By Ekdesh Meiser Sheni Torah says kesef, not shtar. Why Rashi had to add a verbal debt and not a verbal debt, not a written debt? Because otherwise the kedusha is going to transfer. What about Meiser Sheni? In answer, we're talking about fruits which are made to be taken off. The Gemara says in many places, in Baba Kama and other places, the bringing machlokes Ramein Chachomim is peiros ateuros. If you have fruits which are all ready to be eaten off, there's a machlokes Ramein Chachomim is considered land or is considered metateli. You know the machlokes Ramein Glazer? Many places in Baba Kama, in Merube, and in what? In Ksubis, is also in where else remember it? In Gitin, in Kiddushin. Many places, I think 3-4 places in Shas, the Gemara brings machlokes Ramein Chachomim. If I have a shkoilos ha'oindos libotzer, if his fruit was made to be cut off, it's all ripe, made to be cut off, I perceive it as metaltili mokal. It's the kfiras if moider miktas. We learned it right now. We learned it in Masechet Sanhedrin. Machlokes Ramein Chachomim in his credit is moider miktas on it. It's considered kfir and shibus karka. It's kfir and shvu and karka or not. Machlokes Ramein Chachomim. So the same thing is here. The shtar is on pegos of oimidli tolesh, which I consider it like karka, and I can write a star on it. That's all. Yes. Those who hold, yes, because oimidli botzer. It's only shadow how I perceive it. I perceive it. He learns that when it's mechuba, he cannot. And say, you're right. Mechuba, he cannot take off ma'aser. Only when it's tolesh. When it's oimidli tolesh, machlokes Ramein Chachomim, it's tolesh shama. So I say even those who holds not tolush means a karka, but still you can take off mice because it's oimidli tolush. I have to take that out of his shuna, but that's the way in my mind I'll answer. Well, there's other answer. There's lav dafka mice, and that's why Rashi took off those words. Mice and sheni just wrote ekdeshos. Okay, but really Pshat and Rashi was saying not like the k'tzois. The k'tzois basically took Rashi. And Pshat and Rashi didn't say because it's kesef. It's not because not the subject. Kiddushin is he wrote the shtar, so he wrote shtar chov didei, and it's kesef. So does it make sense? And why Rashi had to say shtar chov didei not chov? Because he didn't say shtar kinyan. Because shtar kinyan, how does it work from metalton from meiser sheni? So he has to say not shtar kinyan, rather shtar chov, and not shtar chov didei is not similar to kiddushin. The shtar chov didei, which is similar to kiddushin, but it's still kesef, and the subject matter is a shtar and not kesef. The other kasha we have shtar on the way the Kshos learned Pshat in Rashi. What is it?
It's communicating that there is a certain.
It's kesef and kiddushin.
It's a start. It tells you about kesef. It's not kesef. It's not a din of kesef. It's communication.
He says it's kesef and kiddushin. It's kesef and kiddushin and kinyan. It's kesef for kiddushin and kinyan. It's shvei kesef. Yes.
No,
There's a market value to it. There's a market value.
the market value is the beginning of how you relate.
No, it has also market value.
So what? That's but that's not the ikar.
Even if not the ikar, even if it's not the ikar, but it's shvei kesef. Ain't good for mama, but it's shvei kesef. Shvei kesef is a reality. A check is worth money or not? Tell me, yes or no. A check, it's worth money or not?
Selling or buying or
What is worth? Talk about shvei and shvei. The word shvei kesef, it's part of that or not? Just tell me yes or no.
that's not a simple answer. You can't answer that simple.
You're telling me, Chacham, answer me the simple, then unsimple answer. That check is shvei kesef or not? Answer. Make all your cheshbonos. You're telling me, Chacham, X years old, many years in yeshiva, a decade, yoivel. Give me an answer. You don't have to give me an answer. Everybody knows the answer. Shvei kesef, kesef. It's shvei kesef. It's shvei kesef. A check, it's shvei kesef. Maybe less, a couple of percent less, but it's shvei kesef. It's training. You know, why not true? It's shvei kesef. Answer me. It's not shvei kesef. It's not shvei kesef. Answer me. The bottom line, yes or no? Okay. Talk about in kiddushin. In kiddushin and in karka. In kiddushin, the Torah says shvei kesef. It's shvei kesef on the answer. In kiddushin, what is it? Shvei kesef or not? Yes.
His start, his check.
No, somebody else check.
Someone else's check. You want to say is it a start? You want to say is the check?
It's shvei kesef. Yes, it's shvei kesef. I said. To the level of church, one says even more mamish. It's another level. Okay, this is my pshat. I just want to summarize the choice. There's a Reb Shmuel Rozovsky here on this subject. You have to learn. There's the older Rishonim which please look it inside. Maybe we'll push it for one more week. I want you to see the Shmuel Rozovsky here is Shmuel Rozovsky here, and there is Reb Shimon Shkop, might print it out. Okay, we saw the choice. So he brings the problem of Meiser Sheni. If it's kesef, if it's shtar, how shtar works for Meiser Sheni, it's metaltali. So we have a problem. Maybe Tohunois, Oimdesli Botzer. That's the way they answer. Who knows? Or Lavdavko, you erase it from the Gemara. But then we have a problem. But if it is kesef, the way the Ktosh is learning Rashi, so there's not the subject of it's a shtar, not kesef. It's okay. We gave you our answer. I want you to learn the Rishonim here, and we have to learn Shmuel Rozovsky. As long as about 2 pages of Shmuel Rozovsky here. It's on here. It's printed here. And Reb Shimon Shkop. And also Reb Chaim Alevi. They print Reb Chaim Alevi. Negris, yes, on the top. But look inside. I looked inside the book. In Reb Chaim Alevi's book, he has one big paragraph on it. And he's moichech, right? So it made the 2 inyonim of Pidyoin and how I define what's the Shmuel Rozovsky, Shimon Shkop, is my pshat. And I want to prove all through that this is the best pshat. I'll prove it when I learn the Shmuel Rozovsky and all. I think this pshat is the best pshat in my mind right now. Well, I see this is the best pshat, but there's an observation. Okay? The question is, what's the best? And what in my mind solve the best? Shtarchov, IOU. Forget about check. I use a checkers to make it relevant nowadays. IOU, promissory note. Okay? In that world I'm talking about. Shtarchov. I put a checkers to be easy to make sense to you. And nowadays, that is money. The shvekes. Okay. Musor shmus. Okay. Siyata dishmai.